Hello, Andrew here. Welcome to the next video in our Haas certification series. Here, we're going to talk about correctly shutting down your CNC machine for the night and how to clean and protect the machine for a slightly longer period, like over the weekend. Now, it sure would be easy to just punch the power off button and call it a day. But it's a little more involved than that when you're shutting down a CNC machine. Before you head home for the night, you need to prep the machine for tomorrow's work. If you or another operator comes to work in the morning to find a machine that hasn't been cleaned up after a full day's work, there could be trouble for whoever left it like that. Let's avoid the trouble and take care of a few of those tasks right now. Let's start off with a machine that's been through a busy day, where the chips maybe haven't been cleared out for a while. Inside the enclosure could be knee-deep in chips. Typically, it's best to clear the chips out several times during the day between part runs, but you definitely shouldn't allow them to sit overnight until the next day. Don't get in the bad habit of leaving big piles of chips in the machine, particularly steel or iron chips that can quickly begin rusting and affecting the longevity of your machine enclosure, and even cause damage to the moving parts like the way covers. Let's get the chips out of here. I'll press handle jog and move the machine table around while using the washdown hose to push the chips off of the table, the vise, and the way covers, down into the bottom of the enclosure. If the machine has an auger or conveyor, use the hose to push the chips onto it and then out into the chip bin. With the chips cleared out, push emergency stop and use the air gun to blow puddles of coolant off of the table and clear any coolant from around the spindle and the tool, as well as your vise or fixturing. Now, one place you never want to point the air gun is directly up into the nose of the spindle. It's possible to blow contaminants up into the spindle bearings and affect their lifespan. So never use compressed air pointed upwards in this area. Okay, now we're back at our VF3SS. Now, we talked about the coolant tank in our earlier powering up video. But before you go home, it's a good idea to take a look at the coolant level readout here on screen, and even go around to the coolant tank and check the level there if necessary. If the tank is low, adding coolant now ensures the machine is ready to go first thing in the morning. But remember, if you just stopped making parts a few minutes ago, some coolant will still be flowing back into the tank. So when you do the fill up, don't go right to the brim. Another important thing to remember, never add just plain water to the tank. Always add the correct coolant mixture of water and coolant concentrate. And make sure to check the coolant concentration with a refractometer to know if you need to adjust the concentration. Ask your supervisor for help making this check. Now, if it happens to be Friday night, you've got a little more work to do. Open the doors and apply a good coating of rust preventative to all the unpainted surfaces. Now, there are many of these to choose from, but your shop will have a preferred preventative. Make sure you coat the way covers, the table, your vise or fixturing, and even the tool and the spindle. This is also a good time to make sure any tools that aren't loaded in the machine also have some rust preventative applied to keep them in good shape for the next job that's coming up. Now you can close the doors and press power off. And since it's Friday night, you may want to go to the back of the machine to the main circuit breaker and set it to the off position. You also want to shut off the air supply to the machine. Now you're almost done, but not quite yet. Take a look at your work area and clean it up for Monday. Put away your tools, clean up any spills, and make sure your work area is safe. In summary, before you shut down the machine at night, make sure to clear chips and coolant out of the enclosure. Top up the coolant and straighten up your work area. And if you're leaving for the weekend, protect the tooling, table, fixturing, and way covers with a rust preventative. Thanks for watching and enjoy your evening.